It's that time. Welcome to Roadmap, how to take 3 listings a week until you're ready for more. Each week, we interview a great agent who is consistently taking 2, 3, 4 listings a week. And we have an exciting guest today. We encourage you to take notes and apply as much of their knowledge as quickly as you can. And then use the copycat principle. Let me introduce my co-host from San Diego, Kari Hathaway. That's KariHathaway.com. Hi, Kari. How's the real estate business?
Hi, Ren. Hi, everybody. Real estate is great. Things are still moving as usual.
Wonderful. Before I introduce our guest today, I want to remind everyone that we are also simulcasting the show on the private lead gen group on Facebook. They have 52,000 members, so we have a large audience there today as well. And we will be pausing for a commercial message during the show as a thank you to the lead gen folks. So let me introduce our guest today from Greater Chicagoland, specifically is St. Charles and Geneva and around that area, Miss Kari Kohler. Hi, Kari.
Hi there. How are you?
Good. Welcome back.
Yes, we are so excited you're back, Kari.
Thank you so much for having me.
And that's Kari.
Kari.
Kari,
Thank you so much, Kari.
And she should know. And
I know.
And last time we checked in with you, Kari, we interviewed you while you were standing you had flown from Greater Chicago to San Diego in the coldest, bleakest day and weekend of winter in February, and you were standing there going somewhere warm because you deserve it, and your business is portable. And we interviewed you standing in the San Diego airport. So it's getting a little warmer now. Are you back home?
Sadly, I am back in Chicago. Yes.
Nice. And how's business? How's everything?
Business is excellent. It's very strong. Having a very good year.
Good. What's your goal this year?
My goal this year is 120 transactions.
Amazing. Are you on track?
We are definitely on track. Doing very well. We have 50 closed and under contract right now.
Nice. So how did your April 2020 go, which we just finished not too long ago? That would have been your last full month, April 2020.
Well, you know what? Not very much changed for me because I just decided I'm going to do business as usual. The only thing I'm going to change is if somebody doesn't want to meet in person, I'll do the Zoom call or I'll offer a conference call. So we quickly learned how to use Zoom and how to get our documents up on Zoom and spread, listing presentation up on Zoom, and rolled with that. Now, ironically enough, I haven't done a listing presentation on Zoom. People either want to do it on a conference call or, I've carefully gone to a few people's homes too.
Okay, good. So, because I was going to say, maybe you won't ever go back. When you think about it, a lot of agents that are in resort markets do presentations over the phone or on Zoom or both or whatever. It's very common practice. I'm just wondering, could this be an efficiency piece that you could bring into the business? Because I'm seeing a trend towards that.
I am all ready for it. That's why I had my 2 transaction coordinators train me on it, because I want to be able to do it from my home. If I'm doing a listing presentation on Sunday night, let's just do this. That's awesome.
There you go.
Good for you, and you're ready to go.
I am ready to go now. I don't want to talk too confident about Zoom, but I am getting there.
Good.
And it's great because that listing presentation is so much shorter when you're doing it over the phone or over Zoom, right?
Yes, and I really would, if we're not going to meet in person, I really would prefer to do the Zoom rather than the conference call, because we've all been taught that we're always much better in person. Mm-hmm. So I like to at least let them see me and hopefully feel the passion I have for real estate.
Mm-hmm. But you're probably just really a good presentation on video, as we see here now too.
I'm working
even
on
in person, you're working on it. Good. Well,
I started off a little camera shy, but I'm working on it.
Well, it's gone away.
Yeah. So can we talk about your routine, your morning schedule?
Sure, absolutely. Okay. Well, I get to the office at 7 a.m. every morning like clockwork, Monday through Friday. One thing I'm going to be honest with everybody. I've moved my role play to 11:30 in the morning, and it's only because I am type A personality. So I like to really sit down at my desk from 7 until 7:45 and just get myself organized for the day, get my mindset strong. And if I get on a role play and it doesn't necessarily go the way I want, maybe somebody's 15 minutes late or something, or, maybe it's my fault, it kind of upsets the apple cart before I start prospecting. So I've just tweaked that a little bit. Certainly not, I'm certainly role playing a lot, but it's after my morning prospecting. So I listen to positive mindset messages on my way to the office. When I get to the office, I get myself totally organized for the day. And then I prospect from 8 to 11 every day. I mean, I pretty much don't take much of a break in between prospecting.
And what's your contact goal when you're prospecting for 2-3 hours in the morning?
My goal is 10 an hour, but it's challenging to attain that.
Yeah, definitely.
It averages more about 7 per hour.
Okay. All right. And who are you starting with when you call? Like, do you have a strict routine?
I do. I always start with expired and canceled. And then I go to for sale by owner. And then I go to sphere of influence and calling around listings.
Perfect.
Love it. That's great.
And you're still go ahead, Carly.
And you're still reaching like expireds, and has anything changed with your script at all?
No, not much. I think my personality can be sympathetic. So I just tried to amp that up a little bit and be a little bit more sympathetic to what people are going through. I mean, we are all facing the same challenge, but people have, some people have health issues that make this challenge a stronger problem for them. So I'm trying to be more sympathetic. I'm taking more notes because, honestly, it's very hard to get a yes right now. So I'm trying to take down notes about what's going on in their life, and then, figuring out what's the best time to call them back and really, build this relationship.
So you're finding you're doing a little bit more lead follow-up then maybe?
Definitely. And that is something, we all have our weaknesses and we have our strengths. I think my one strength is lead follow-up. I am golden on it. It's where all the money is as far as I'm concerned. There's so few people that call a second, third, fourth, fifth time. I mean, I just basically call until people tell me to go jump in the lake. I don't mind like hearing, no, I'm not ready, because I'm going to catch them. I'm going to catch them when they are ready sometime.
And then you have those notes for when you call them next time, so you already know what their objection is going to be and you're ready to handle it. Yeah,
and so I use Vulcan and I just type my notes right in there, so it's so simple. I don't have to take them anywhere with me. I can put it in the calendar. It reminds me, when I should call them, what time I should call them, and then I open it up and I see, what the scoop is.
Nice. Now, are you still doing the big accountability piece? You had Google Hangouts and people are like, Kari, where are you? Where they had all this.
During the month of April, we have gotten away from that. I think it's, people they just have so many new things that they're starting, but we had done that all the way up till April. So just like this, it's kind of like the Brady Bunch screen and everybody's prospecting together. It's super fun.
I like it too. And it keeps you on the phone longer. And I like hearing other people talk when you're doing it,
So do I.
Yeah.
Yep. So
something about you making a call by yourself is one thing, but if you've got Google Hangouts or a Zoom going and all these other people are making calls too, it will cause you to go and continue to make calls. It's sort of like going down to the laundry room where your treadmill is and being on your treadmill by yourself versus being at the gym with 8 other people on a treadmill. You're going to stay on longer.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that is a perfect visual, and I think something that we've all realized. If we're not going to the gym, you definitely don't get as effective workout as you do doing it in your home, and that's it correlates to role play or prospecting so much.
So a lot of people, when they saw you last time you talked about this, I think that was like 2 shows back, wanted to know how do they get involved with a Google Hangouts or a Zoom call with other agents that are making calls and holding them accountable. Where did you find something like that?
Well, by going to Mike Ferry events is where I met all my networking friends across the country. I mean, people are so open and so willing to help you at the variety of levels that people are at when we're at those Mike Ferry events. And so I met so many of them there, and then I would go back and send them an email. So great to meet you. I'd find them on social media. And then when you have them on social media and you start saying, I'm looking for role play partners, I'm looking for accountability partners, Google Hangout partners, it's so easy because people are so helpful to try to connect.
Yeah, I agree. And how long have you been in coaching?
Since 2006. I think I signed up for coaching before I even got my license. Like I put that ball in motion before I even got my license.
And how does that help your business? Like why, I mean, you know what you're doing. Why not ditch the coach and just do it on your own?
Well, yeah, I can't. I have to have the coaching, because no matter what level you are at, you can always get better. And it's just, sometimes it's a big change and it changes your business by a lot, or sometimes it's just a tiny change and it can increase your income by $200,000. Like the other day I was on the treadmill listening to Mike Darda, one of your last, calls. And I mean, I know that we're supposed to be taking another 15 minutes and calling our very, very best leads. And it's, best to do it at a certain time period. It's best to do it in your driveway before you pull into your home and get involved in your kids and your family. I know all that, but what did I do? I forgot about it and I stopped using it. And then I was like, yes, I could use that $200,000 that those few phone calls would make. So I'm back on that pony again.
Good. It's just like an extra reminder.
Well, that's the thing. There's so many things. I mean, you would never know this from the outside world, the skill that it takes to be a talented broker. You just would never know. But it takes such skill. It's the way you walk. It's the way you look. It's the way you dress. It's exactly what you say at the right time. And are you posing enough questions? I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And then, you're supposed to be remembering all these different strategies for making money too. And it's so easy to forget something. So if you have a coach, they keep you accountable and teaching you and reminding you of all those things.
Yeah, I got to tell you, we were going over on a call yesterday, a Zoom call with several people, of a list of the common characteristics of agents that make at least $500,000 in income or higher after expenses. And one of the, almost without exception, every one of them has a coach. Some have two coaches. Some have two coaches. It's that important because there's what you call ROI. There's a return on that investment. You may be paying them $1,000 a month, but you're making $10,000 a month back or $20,000 a month back, or an accumulation effect that takes you higher and higher.
So true. And I think I said this the last time I was on the show, but the one thing, there's so many things you learn from coaches, but one thing that I think is so important is that when you finish your coaching call, to go back through that coaching call and write down all the notes or type them or anything like that, because, we were just talking the other day about adopting a buyer. And I quickly went through my notes and I found here's the 12 steps of adopting a buyer at a closing. And there were, could I think of most of them on my own? Yes. But can I think of all 12? No. So I needed those notes and it was so easy to find. And then of course you record all your calls too. But if you just need to find something really quickly, it's nice to have them in notes.
Yeah. So Kari, people would be like, what does that mean? So adopting the other side of the transaction for you already know what that means. There are some people here that are like, well, tell me more.
Okay, so what that means, it is a golden opportunity. So I tend to be more of a listing agent. So my transaction coordinators are trained that as soon as that contract gets accepted and is over to us, to be watching the entire time for the other side. Okay, so I'm the listing agent. They're looking for the buyer's information. They're looking for, clearly the names, the cell numbers, the email addresses, and watching for that the whole time, so that when the transaction concludes and it closes, then we contact that client. I contact that client. And there's a specific strategy to it. Anybody can contact me for that, and I'll send it off to them. But it's basically, you know, a day after they move in. My one coach taught me that, you know, they thought they were buying the Taj Mahal, and then they've been there for 24, 48 hours and they figure out it's the Taj Madump. And so often when you call that first time, they're not going to be in a good mood. They're going to think, you know, I spent $500,000 on this house and now the garage door doesn't open. So you're basically calling to just say you're here to help them solve problems. One of the things is maybe they didn't think the home was clean. So you want to have a connection, a network with a cleaning lady, where you call your cleaning lady and you say, well, first of all, you say to the client, I'm sorry, that's terrible that happened. I'd like to be able to solve the problem for you. Would you be okay if I sent my cleaning lady over there and she can get the home to the level that you would like it? And then you have a procedure in place with your cleaning service where they're not charging you, the agent, because it's an opportunity for them to get another home on their list, you know, in their book of business. And then the cleaning service goes over there and says, oh, Kari would never accept a home in this condition. We're so happy we're here to take care of it. This is going to, you know, not going to be a charge for you. So they're giving third-party endorsement to, like me, like Kari wants things at a certain level and doesn't accept this. Mm-hmm. And now you've solved a problem for them. Now you're a hero. Mm-hmm. And then you call again in 4 or 5 days. I just want to make sure the sign came out. I want to make sure everything went okay. And now you're adopting them, and then you put them in your program.
Because one of the things she isn't mentioning is the other agent is not talking to that client anymore.
Yeah, the other agent's never going to call them again.
Almost never. And you call and you say, I want to welcome you to the neighborhood. I'm still in touch with the seller in case you have a question about a paint color or what a certain switch on the wall goes to or anything like that. Just, you know, use me as a resource. So and then they're like, my agent abandoned me. And then the listing agent continues a relationship. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then something Ren taught me a number of years ago is that when you're under contract and right after you close is when you talk about real estate the most. Mm-hmm. So then they're out, you know, at the mailbox with their new neighbor and they're like, well, you know, the listing agent's the one that did all this. And then you never know, maybe that neighbor's moving. So it works really well.
That is such a great strategy. And then after the 4 weeks, how often are you following up with them?
Just like you, so now you've put them in your sphere of influence. Mm-hmm. So just like you do with everybody else. So, you know, at least 4 times a year, they're getting a call, at least 4 times a year, they're getting a mailer. And then we have, well, we used to, we're going to start it back up again. We used to have at least a client party every other month. And then they get invited to those.
Love it.
Right now she's sending them hand sanitizer and a mask.
Yeah.
Toilet paper and hand sanitizer.
Yes, exactly.
Well, those are such great tips. I love it. This has been such a good show. I think a lot of people are going to keep rewatching it. We're so excited.
And Kari Kohler is not going to dead. And when all this is, when things settle down and people are around people again, is it okay if somebody comes and shadows you once in a while?
Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it when that happens, because and it's another thing you taught me, Ren, I put in a more productive day when somebody's watching me.
Oh, isn't it funny? The show off factor, somebody flies in and they're watching and you're like, oh crap, I'm going to have to do what I'm supposed to do every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this has really got to be the thing.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost like you get paid because you set an extra appointment or took an extra listing because somebody's watching you. You know, and Kari is an easy one to go to. You could take a nonstop flight from anywhere to Chicago.
Yes, and I welcome that. And then it's also another opportunity, you know, to network with agents across the country. So I love that opportunity.
Nice.
Good.
And when all this is over, you guys are going to come visit me in San Diego again, right?
Oh, yes, we are. Yes, we are. No problem.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. When as soon as it gets cold again.
Yeah.
I'll come when it's warm, Carly. I don't
Okay.
care.
We'll go lay out at the beach.
It's a beautiful place all year long. So yeah.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Head on down there, Kari. Good.
Yes,
Well,
I
folks,
will.
if you're watching on Vulcan7 and you want to get involved with the Lead Gen Facebook group, they are at facebook.com/groups/got objections. And finally, if you're watching on Facebook and you're not yet involved with Vulcan7, how's that possible? Make sure to sign up at vulcan7.com/lead gen for a special deal. And what a lot of people want to know is Kari Kohler's secret. Why is she so powerful? Why is she able to take 2-3 listings every week? What does she do? And then why does she just enjoy her weekends? What the hell is that? I thought agents were supposed to work nights and weekends. What she does is she makes her calls. She does her role play at 11:30 now. And then it's 12 noon. You think she's going to lunch. Nope. She is going in and getting some delicious Grater's Mint chocolate chip. This is the one for listings. This is the powerful mindset piece. If you're working with buyers, obviously that is Rocky Road. But this is the one. This is the one. If they sell Graters all over North America, just go to graters.com to find the store nearest to you. And we'll see you guys next week when we have another exciting guest. Can it be any more exciting than Kari Kohler? Send your referrals to Kari for Greater Chicagoland.
Thank you so much, Kari.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Stay healthy.
You too.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.